All right, the value of the dollar is going down. And if you have dollars, which is most Americans, all Americans, and many people outside of the US, and you don't want to just open a toilet and stuff it in there and flush it down, you're going to want to watch this video to understand a little bit about why and what to do about it. Okay, so the reason the dollar is going down is because we're printing trillions and trillions of dollars. Over a quarter of the total dollars in circulation were printed in the last year and a half, just pretty much since COVID started. That's mind-blowing crazy, okay? And so I'm talking about the total dollars in circulation from since the United States was created hundreds of years ago, right, have been printed in the last year and a half. And so, and by the way, the GDP has not increased, so we haven't produced more as a country. In fact, we're producing less, like most countries in the world, because of the pandemic and the global shutdown. What does all this mean? It just means that every dollar that you hold in your pocket or under your mattress or in your bank account that's not accruing like hardly any interest is just slowly being eroded away. So every single day, days, nights, weekends, while you're awake, while you're asleep, you are losing money right now while you're watching this video. Now, I don't say all this to produce panic. I'm not a fear monger. I don't believe in that. I'm just trying to wake you up from your sleep condition. If you don't know already, now you know. The money that's sitting in your bank account is losing money. So, because I don't believe in fear mongering and trying to spread fear all around, then what do we do about it, right? I want to give you some tools, give you some strategies, give you some hope about what to do about it. And so just like in any cycle of prolonged inflation or even hyperinflation, the only way to secure your wealth and protect it is to not be in the cash, not be in the fiat currency, but to transfer your wealth out of that and into things that are better stores of value, right? So the reason we have dollars is because it's really easy to transact. You know, it's simple to just go to the grocery store and use your dollars to buy something. It's not so easy, and in many places it's impossible to do that with something like real estate. You know, you can't just like dig up your real estate and walk to the grocery store and like give it to them for food. It doesn't work that way. And so it's not a very easy thing to use for transactions, but it is a really good way to hold wealth and to keep it safe, right? And so that's why, you know, over the years and cycles, I mean, since organized civilization really existed, people have, you know, gravitated to some of the similar things that holds wealth. And that's real estate, that's, you know, commodities such as precious metals, gold, silver. You know, it also, in more modern times, it also includes some government bonds, a little bit debatable, but those are the sort of things. Commodities, right? So you could also have things like guns or, you know, collectible art, things that hold their value. Again, usually those things that hold value aren't very easily transacted, okay? And so we're going to talk about why that's important here in just a moment. Now, so you got to get your wealth out of the money, out of the stuff that's easily transacted and into a storehold of wealth, all right? And so, again, there's a couple of those things on that list that are good storeholds of value that are difficult to find, right? And so, like in today's world, because of depressed interest rates, it's really easy to borrow money, and so real estate values have gone way up. You know, it's like you might have a neighbor who has sold their house, and it's like they crushed it in the market. You know, they sold it way over some crazy amount, and you're thinking, "Whoa, we should maybe sell our house." But then the second question is, well, if we sell our house, where are we going to live? Because then we have to go buy another house. And if you sell your house for like a high price, then it's difficult to find another one that isn't also priced high. And so unless you plan on just, you know, traveling full time or hitting the road or just going and renting or something like that, that's maybe not a very easily executable strategy. And so that just highlights that real estate can be involved in bubbles. Okay, so, right, but anyway, so that's a long way of saying that there's like some some tried and true principles for storing your value. Okay, something that is new, something that's up and coming is Bitcoin. You might have heard of it, and maybe it's scary. Maybe it's because you don't know anything about it, or maybe it's because you've been contacted by someone on Facebook who doesn't have any history on Facebook and they totally look like they have a scammer profile or something like that. And it's probably because they do have a scammer profile. But, so I want to hop on here and just say, if you don't know what Bitcoin is, it has emerged as a fantastic store of value. But the benefit to Bitcoin, something that sets it apart from the other traditional stores of value, is that it's also easily used in transactions. It's easily transactable. It's a digital way to store wealth. And you're like, whoa, Stephen, this is crazy. You kind of lost me already. You had me at real estate, and now you've lost me at Bitcoin. What's going on? Well, so all the storeholds of value, whether it's gold or real estate, and Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, not all, but some, and we'll talk about that in a minute. What makes them really good ways to store money is really three things. One is that there's a limited supply, right? It's difficult, right? It's not easy to make more land, right? I guess you could just push a bunch of dirt into the ocean and make an island, but that would be really expensive, take a long time, and be really hard. So you can see how it's not easy. Like there's a fixed amount of land. And same thing with gold, by the way. It's not easy to mine gold unless you're really lucky, right? And so it's difficult, it's challenging, it can be dangerous to mine gold, silver, other commodities that are lumped in this group of storeholds of value. So that's the first thing, right? There's like a fixed quantity, or somewhat fixed, difficult to create more. Second thing is it's not directly controlled or by a government, and what I really mean is it's not printed by a government. So the government can't create more land, it can't just generate more gold, even though they all think they're alchemists. There's hardly any alchemists in government, right? And so that's important. And so and then the third thing is that there's a high degree of adoption, right? A lot of people, it's common to buy and sell that thing. And so, it's not weird if you buy land. It's not weird if you buy gold. It's just like people have heard of it for a long time. Maybe when you look at Bitcoin and some other cryptocurrencies, they don't have that same longevity, but they've got over a decade. And at this point, it's gaining a lot of popularity. Okay, so they do have adoption, and that adoption is growing. It's not generated or controlled by any government. And so that's attractive. And then there is a fixed quantity of Bitcoin. And I'm not going to spend this video talking about why there's a fixed quantity. There's a lot of other people who have talked about that, but just, and you can search those, and if you follow me, certainly happy to recommend resources where you can learn more for yourself about why there truly is a fixed quantity of Bitcoin, but and some other cryptocurrencies. But for now, just know that there is. Okay, there is 21 million Bitcoin, and there's never going to be any more, right? It would be extremely difficult to add more, like far more difficult to add more Bitcoin than to produce an island out of the ocean, okay, and to produce more gold by far. And so there's a fixed quantity, there's a high degree of adoption, and it's growing, and governments do not control Bitcoin. And maybe to some of you say, well, governments don't control it, that's a little scary. But to me, what's happening right now with the dollar, what's happening right now with the changing world order, that's scary. And this video is not about spreading fear. It's not about spreading, panic. It isn't. It's about saying, listen, understand this is going on. And if you don't want to be caught underprepared, then transfer your dollars into something that holds wealth. And so for you, if you're comfortable with real estate or gold, then invest in those things. But let me just share that Bitcoin is emerging as an alternate storehold of value, and you're going to want to know about it in the modern time. So thanks for tuning in. Watch for more videos, subscribe, and set alerts. You're going to want to see some more videos about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, some other storeholds of wealth, and other strategies. So thanks. Talk to you later.